What's going on YouTube? So when you think of performance Hondas, probably the first thing that comes to your mind is this, the Civic Type R. But as you know, a all-new Civic came out about a year ago, which has left us the past 12 months wondering what special tricks Honda has up its sleeve for the all-new Type R, which is over here to my left. Well, today I'm excited to say we will find out with a little taste here at the Mid-Ohio Honda Indy 200 race. We have the special opportunity to check out this disguised version before its official unveiling in a few weeks. And we also get to see it actually out on the track doing what Type Rs are meant to do. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take an up-close and personal look at this all-new Type R. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and just kind of start walking around this new Type R. Now, speaking the obvious, it is camouflage still. So we don't know a whole lot about this yet because we're ahead of the official unveiling. But up close and personal, you can really start to discern a lot more details than you would think initially looking at it all camouflaged like it is. So let's squat down here and start to take a look here at our front end. I think one of the main things that you'll notice when you take the first look at this new Type R is that the design characteristics are of course going to reflect the new generation of Civic, but also I think the vehicle is going to appear more modest than the outgoing generation. As you saw, the old one is right behind me, and that one has very outrageous styling, absolutely just bold and very, very aggressive. This one is going to dial it back just a little bit. Of course, owners can still be free to customize this any way they want to in the future, but you can tell that things are going to be a little bit more modest. So we've got that signature mesh grille up here in the front, and of course, because this is the Type R, we've got the wide and very large lower fascia here. This is going to feed all the air into the engine, and you're going to have the active aero that runs along the bottom as well. Now, another observation that you can see, looking at them back to back, is actually this hood scoop. So this hood scoop has shifted down the hood substantially from the previous generation. It's also now facing the opposite direction. So this, of course, is going to be good for aerodynamics as well as cooling as the air flows through. But like I said, it's less of a traditional hood scoop because it's facing the opposite direction. But we'll go ahead and just kind of continue our tour around to the side areas. As you can see, you're going to have traditional Civic elements like your full LED headlights with your daytime running lights running through there. There don't appear to be any fog lamps like the previous generation had. Now, as far as what's underneath of this hood, of course, like I said, no official details. However, we do anticipate that we'll have a similar situation to the current generation model. For reference, that is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that is making 306 horsepower. I would think that it would stay the same or even more power. Like I said, it's a little bit of speculation, but I can confirm one element, and that it definitely has a manual transmission. So you would expect no Type R would be complete without a manual transmission. Now, will they also add a dual clutch? We will see in the future, but for now, I can definitely confirm that we have a manual transmission on board. Now, of course, in terms of other things that definitely won't change, this will be an engaging and visceral feeling vehicle because that is how Type Rs have always been and what they are absolutely known for. Now, go ahead and kind of squat down here and we'll start to take a look at our wheels. So we've got 19-inch alloy wheels. As you can see, we've got this really nice matte black finish on board. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, 265/30s. And as you can see, they look really, really nice. One of the other elements that I really like about this overall look, though, are these really large Brembo brakes. I don't know the exact dimensions of these, of course, right now, but as you can see, they're going to be really nice and large, be able to stop you on a dime, when you're driving this aggressively, because that's the point of having a Type R, driving it aggressively, maybe taking it out on the track, and this is going to be able to handle all those situations with ease. And let's talk a bit about the side here. So of course this is going to be based on the hatchback version of the Civic. That does mean that it will grow about 1 inch over the previous generation. And as you can see in the side profile, of course you do have that signature hatchback design. Of course there's going to be a lot of unique elements as well though. So some of the things I'm noticing is a lot of active aero and pieces down here in the lower area. So this is a real vent right through there. You do have this large lower body kit that goes down to the bottom here. And then you also have this other piece of active aero around the rear. And it has a real nice wide look to the overall vehicle itself. Now that I'm standing here at the side, I will go ahead and mention, of course, the interior is going to be fully blacked out here. We can't really look inside. That being said, we can speculate and assume that we're going to have the newest Honda design language from the Civic. We're going to have, of course, a lot of sportier elements though. So you should have that signature really nice aluminum manual shifter that just feels fantastic in the hands. And I'd also anticipate, like the outgoing generation, seeing a lot of Alcantara elements added so that you have the extra grip with various elements inside of the cabin. Well, let's continue around to the back. This, of course, is really where Civic Type R just stands out so much in terms of the design. As you can tell, that signature wing spoiler, it's still there. It's humongous. It does look a little smaller, though, than the outgoing generation, but there's no mistaking a Type R for any other version of the Civic. It's not even close to the SI, that's for sure. Obviously, that's going to serve a lot of purposes for aero and for the design. And then, as we squat down here, you're going to notice this lower fascia is way more aggressive than any other Civic. So we've got that lower diffuser area with a lot of the active aero once again. We've got those signature 3 exhaust pipes. I know that everyone loves the way that looks. It's super cool. One thing is actually that this has been inversed in terms of the sizing from the outgoing generation. So now you have the large one is in the middle and your smaller ones are on the outside edge. Of course, it should sound pretty good. We don't know, we can't start it up or anything today, but just looking at this, I think that Honda's going to emphasize the sound a little bit more this time around. And if it's like the outgoing generation, it'll also have some active sound coming into the cabin as well to amplify things further. And as far as some of the other elements, I can't comment anything about safety systems per se, but I can confirm that this model does have blind spot monitoring. But let's talk a little bit about what we think the price might be on something like this. The current generation starts at about $38,000. I would anticipate this new model will probably be in a very similar price point. You're probably looking at about $40-ish thousand. And when we might find out a little bit more information about this will be in just a few weeks. So you don't have too long if you're really anticipating learning all the nitty-gritty details. But I won't keep you in suspense anymore. Let's take a look at the footage and see this beast actually out on the track, hear it in action, and just see what this thing can do. Just a little taste before we get that official debut a little later on. Well guys, thanks so much for tuning in at this special first look at the all-new 2023 Honda Civic Type R. We hope you enjoyed this content. We certainly enjoyed coming out here and filming this, taking an up-close and personal look at this, and being one of the very first people in the US to ever see this up close and personal, as well as see it out on the track. If you enjoyed, make sure you go down below and subscribe to see more content like this, as well as our typical full reviews with all the other Civic models, including the regular hatchback, regular sedan, and the SI model. Take care, and we'll see you next time.